Have you ever found yourself in the situation where you're dealing with a client or a candidate and they raise an issue and you fix it, and they raise another issue and you fix it, and you raise another issue and you fix it, and it just seems to be this never-ending process where you never actually get to the bottom of what's really going on? Well, by using the A.P.P.S process that I'm going to describe to you in this video, you will be able to actually get to the bottom of what's really going on with somebody, what they really mean, so that you can help them get what they want, or part as friends and cut your losses. Please watch this video all the way through to the end. The content does go all the way through. There's no padding or filling at the back end. And if it's useful and if you like it, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future recruitery goodness. So let's talk about this A.P.P.S process, A.P.P.S. First stage, unsurprisingly, is ask. Ask open questions. I've got lots of other videos that talk about the questioning process, but in this context, all I'm talking about is ask an open question, a positive framing question that gets them to talk about the good stuff that they want, what's the best, easiest, fastest, most effective way of doing something, or a negative framing question that gets them to talk about their problems. What's the worst, most difficult, slowest, hardest part of what they're currently doing? What's the least effective thing that they get involved in? What's the least pleasant or enjoyable? So open questions, how, what, why, where, when, who, but I will always try and point them in a direction. Either point them towards something positive that they can move towards, something that they can gain from, or alternatively, something negative that they can move away from, some pain. So I try and build up a gap between pain and gain, between what they want to move away from and what they want to move towards. And what I tend to avoid where I can is what's called neutral framing questions. It's where you ask something that's an open question, yay, but doesn't really take you anywhere. You're not sure what the answer is going to be. Let me give you an example. If I said to you, how's your journey into work today? Well, I could get any answer. I could get, well, it was fine, I rolled out of bed and it was there. Or it could be, it was fine, or it was awful, or anything. I've got no control over that conversation. If I said to you, what was the worst thing about your journey into work today? What I'm going to get is some variety of negative stuff, bad stuff. If I said to you, what's the best thing about your journey into work today? What's the best thing about your job? What's the best thing about where you work? What's the best thing about whatever? I'm going to get some variety of positive, good stuff. Notice, by the way, I finished with the positive because I want you smiling and being happy for the rest of the video. Ugly I may be, stupid I'm not. So the first thing is to ask. The second is to paraphrase what they said. Listen to what they said and then paraphrase it back to them. Now, I said paraphrase deliberately. That's not a typo in the captions. It's not me misspeaking. It's not paraphrasing. Paraphrasing, as far as I'm concerned, is stupid. I don't care if you've been taught it, and I don't care if you were taught it by somebody else. I don't care. Paraphrasing is stupid. Paraphrasing is the process of taking what somebody said and turning it into what they would have said if they were as clever as you. Which is, you know, might be kind of fulfilling, but it's not great in terms of influencing somebody. Let me give you an example. If I say to you, oh, so what's the really great thing about this opportunity? What do you like most about this opportunity? You might answer, oh, well, it's the fact that, you know, I can work from home. I only have to go into the office one day a week. That's your answer. My paraphrasing back would be, oh, terrific. So it's the fact that you can work from home 4 days and you only have to go into the office just the one day a week. I got the answer and I paraphrased it. I literally repeated it back as close to word for word as I could. I didn't get creative. I didn't try and spin it. I didn't try and paraphrase it and turn it into the right words. I just repeated it back to you. Now, that will build a huge amount of rapport because it proves to you that I've been listening and I'm using your words back to you. And if I use your words, then obviously I'm as intelligent, good looking and charming as you are. And that will build a lot of rapport. On the other hand, it doesn't build a hell of a lot of understanding, which takes us to the second P, First thing is ask. Second thing is parrot phrase. Third thing is precision. Now, precision questions are where you take what somebody said and you follow up. You turn it into something more, well, precise, meaningful, comprehensive. So if you said, like we did earlier, 4 days at work, 4 days at home, 1 in the office, I might say, oh, why is that important for you? That's a precision question. Why is that important? And it gets you to talk about the meaning of it. It gets you to explain why that's great for you. In a slightly different context, let's say that I'm talking with a client and they said, well, what we're looking for is somebody with skill A, B, and C. Well, that's wonderful. That's perfect. It's given me everything I need. I can now do a job order, do an ad, go and search, get a candidate, get through the process, and I'm going to get money out the door. I'm going to be hitting my targets. I'm going to be more successful. Get that holiday and the car and the house I want, and happily ever after. No. Unfortunately, by the way, that is what a lot of recruitment consultants will do. They will simply I want skill A, B, and C, and they'll just go off and try and fill the role from that, without having gone into precision. Now, let me explain what that will mean in that context. So I'd paraphrase back. You're looking for skill A, skill B, and skill C. That's fantastic. In terms of those three, how would you rank them in terms of importance? Well, they're all equal. They must have all of them. Perfect. Okay. You say you're looking for skill A. How do you mean exactly? What's your definition of that skill? Or you talk about skill B. How would you know that they've got the appropriate level for that? Or you talk about skill C. Okay, in what way is that crucial for this particular role? I'm pulling out precision. I'm pulling out much more comprehensive, detailed answers that I can then work with to generate a job order, or to generate a pitch, or to generate whatever. Because once I've asked the question, paraphrased it back to build rapport and make sure I heard properly, and I've asked lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of precision questions, what I'll now have is a really good understanding of what your answer meant. And I can now go on to the next question. I can go A.P.P, 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 and then that takes us to S. S is for summary. Literally what it sounds like. If I summarize back to you what you have said, by definition, it will be true. By definition, you will agree with it. By definition, that will build lots more rapport and trust, because I've been listening, I've understood you, I can repeat it back, and then we've got an agreement that that's what you've said, that's what you're looking for, that's what you're targeting, that's what's important to you, that's what you mean, that's how you want to work, that's why you want to work that way. And now we can take that agreement and turn it into whatever the next stage of the process is, whether it's making a pitch, whether it's arranging interviews, whether it's talking to a candidate and convincing them that this is the right opportunity for them and they should take it through. By simply ask a question, paraphrase it back to them, use precision questions, persistently, consistently, just to get the real issue or the real desires or the real process or the real meaning out of the conversation, and then summarize it back to build the agreement, which means that you can then go on to the next stage of the process. Does that make sense? That's me done. A.P.P.S, the A.P.P.S process, one of the core skills that I use to develop my business relationships and to make my placements. If you enjoyed it, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the recruitery goodness. And also down in the comments or description below, you'll find a link to a free PDF that I'll send out for you, free ebook, which is the 20 most essential sales skills for recruiters. That will sign you up to the mailing list, and then you'll also get information about all the other influence skills that are coming through, all the developments and all the other recruiter-based news. So hope it's been useful for you. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you again next time.